Good evening and welcome to Big Story. Tonight we delve into a major development that is sure to stir discussion across the country, the Union Budget 2025. In a landmark move, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has unveiled significant tax relief aimed squarely at India's middle class with a new income tax ceiling, exemptions for senior citizens and controversial measures targeting the wealthy. The budget promises to reshape the economic landscape, but as with any major financial policy, the impact is bound to spark debate. Who really stands to gain and at what cost? Join us as we break down the key points, the reactions, and the political calculations behind this year's budget. Stay tuned for a detailed analysis on tonight's Big Story. The Union Budget 2025 has brought significant changes to the taxation structure, particularly for the middle class. For the assessment year 26-27, individuals with an income below rupees 12 lakh, excluding Section 80 deductions and other exemptions, will be exempt from paying taxes. This new threshold marks a considerable rise from the previous limit of 7 lakh and is expected to elevate the financial burden on a significant portion of the middle class. As a result, many taxpayers will be freed from the tax net, with a majority being in the 8 to 12 lakh income bracket.
The middle class tax cut is what the BJP people are cheering, and I think we'll all await the details of that with interest. But beyond that, there's some fundamental questions about the nature of our economy and what the finance minister's statement does to address them that are still not yet clear. For example, what is being done to ensure that the sort of national manufacturing mission she's talking about will take off? Right now, the investment climate is bad. Even domestic investors are not investing. Foreign investors are pulling their money out. Where is the money going to come from additional manufacturing? Secondly, unemployment is the biggest crisis facing our economy. She's not talked about unemployment at all. Okay, so if you have a salary, you're going to pay less tax, apparently. But if you don't have a salary, where are you going to get the salary from? You need to generate more jobs in this economy, and there's been no sign of that. So these are some of the things. We'll have to look at the proposals in full detail. But my own feeling at the moment is that the central problems facing the economy have not been addressed. Economic growth is still much lower than had been projected even a year ago. And on top of that, we've seen exports are down. It's now less than 20% of GDP. How is she going to improve exports? What are the methods that's going to be creating more goods for export? Not clear. Equally unclear is this whole question of the fiscal deficit. I remember Arun Jaitley talking about moving towards 3% fiscal deficit. Today she cheerfully announces 4.8%. So the fiscal deficit has not got better, it's got worse, unlike what the government has been planning for years.
There have been some Bihar-specific announcements.
Also coming out. Obviously, this is meant with the Bihar elections in mind. And it's ironic that the party that wants one nation, one election seems to think that each time there's an election in a state, you've got to give them more freebies. Then by this rate, you may as well have multiple elections so everyone can benefit. The middle class tax cut is what the BJP people are cheering, and I think we'll all await the details of that with interest. But beyond that, there's some fundamental questions about the nature of our economy and what the finance minister's statement does to address them that are still not yet clear. For example, what is being done to ensure that the sort of national manufacturing mission she's talking about will take off? Right now, the investment climate is bad. Even domestic investors are not investing. Foreign investors are pulling their money out. Where is the money going to come from additional manufacturing? Secondly, unemployment is the biggest crisis facing our economy.
This tax relief is a welcome change for middle class payers who have long felt the strain of high tax rates. With this move, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has responded to the concerns of the middle class, giving them greater financial flexibility. The enhanced income limit will allow them to spend more on luxury items such as gold, ornaments, cars, and travel. This is a step towards stimulating consumer spending, which is a key factor for economic growth. The liberalization of slab rates for those not qualifying for the tax exemption also ensures that there are benefits for a wider section of the population.
I am now happy to announce that there will be no income tax payable up to income of 12 lakh rupees. So, average income of 1 lakh per month other than the special rate income such as capital gains under the new regime. This limit will be 12.75 lakh for salaried taxpayers due to the standard deduction of 75,000. Slabs and rates are being changed across the board to benefit all taxpayers. The new structure will substantially reduce the taxes of the middle class and leave more money in their hands, boosting household consumption, savings and investment. Nuclear energy mission for Vikasit Bharat. Development of at least 100 gigawatt of nuclear energy by 2047 is essential for our energy transition efforts. For an active partnership with the private sector towards this goal, amendments to the Atomic Energy Act and the Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Act will be taken up. A nuclear energy mission for research and development of small modular reactors with an outlay of 20,000 crore will be set up. At least 5 indigenously developed small modular reactors will be operationalized by 2033. A modified UDAN scheme will be launched to enhance regional connectivity to 120 new destinations and carry 4 crore passengers in the next 10 years. 4 crore additional passengers in the next 10 years. The scheme will also support helipads and smaller airports in hilly, aspirational and northeast regional districts. Greenfield airports will be facilitated in Bihar to meet the future needs of the state. These will be in addition to the expansion of the capacity of Patna Airport and a brownfield airport in Beta. As we complete the first quarter of the 21st century, continuing geopolitical headwinds suggest lower global economic growth over the medium term. However, our aspiration for a Vikasit Bharat inspires us, and the transformative work we have done during our government's first 2 terms guides us to march forward resolutely. Our economy is the fastest growing among all major economies. Our development track record for the past 10 years and structural reforms have drawn global attention. Confidence in India's capability and potential has only grown in this period. Prime Minister Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana, developing agri-districts program. Motivated by the success of the aspirational district program, our government will undertake a Prime Minister Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana in partnership with states. Through the convergence of existing schemes and specialized measures, the program will cover 100 districts with low productivity, moderate crop intensity, and below average credit parameters. It aims to 1. Enhance agricultural productivity, 2. Adopt crop diversification and sustainable agricultural practices, 3. Augment post-harvest storage at the panchayat and block level, 4. Improve irrigation facilities, and 5. Facilitate availability of long-term and short-term credit. Over the past 10 years,
A critical aspect of this relief is a reduction in the maximum marginal rate for those in the 8 to 12 lakh income range, which is now set at 10%. Previously, the maximum rate for the individuals in this bracket was 15%. This reduction is a significant move to support the middle class, helping them retain a larger portion of their income and boosting their purchasing power. For many, this could mean greater opportunities for savings and investments, leading to overall economic growth.
सेशन के लिए है सर ये मैडम के
भवन परिसर में और उनके साथ में मौजूद है गाड़ी यहाँ पर बजट का है लेकिन इसके बावजूद लोकसभा यहाँ पर है मैम
आदि लोकसभा with a copy of budget she had to table the budget and so Nirmala Sitharaman has now reached Parliament and these are divisions coming in from a Parliament and see table the report that the cabinet will take clear you should sign the बजट की जो है कॉपी है उनके साथ में चौधरी जो हमारे शायद में वो मौजूद है और कुछ और अधिकारी भी मौजूद है और तस्वीरें इस वक्त जब सीधी सेंटर कवर
बाबा जरा एक सेकंड पकड़िए फीता बांध प्लीज प्लीज आप सब
बजट की जो है हाथ में
However, the wealthiest individuals classified as high net worth individuals, that's HNIs, have not received substantial tax cuts, while they will benefit from the reduced tax on the first 24 lakh of their income. They have not seen any major changes that directly affect their wealth. This is seen as a missed opportunity for a more balanced approach, as critics argue that the super rich could afford to shoulder a higher tax burden. Some have suggested that government could have reintroduced wealth taxes on estate duties to help offset the costs of the new tax relief measures.
Good evening to all of you. Today is budget day. I have an opening statement which will take me about 5 to 6 minutes to read. And after that, my good friend, Mr. Gaurav Gogoi, will speak in Hindi, and then we'll take a few questions. The takeaway from Budget 2025-26 is that the BJP is wooing the tax-paying middle class and the Bihar electorate. These announcements will be welcomed by the 3.2 crore tax-paying middle class and the 7.65 crore voters of Bihar. For the rest of India, the Honorable Finance Minister had no more than soothing words, punctuated by the applause of BJP members led by the Honorable Prime Minister. Let me first look at the financial performance in the current year, 24-25. Revised receipts are lower by 41,240 crore. Revised net tax receipts are lower by 26,439 crore rupees. On the expenditure side, total expenditure has been cut by rupees 1,04,025 crore, and capital expenditure has been cut by rupees 92,682 crore. Of this cut, the sectors that have suffered most and the amounts of cuts are health, 1,255 crore rupees. Education, 11,584 crore rupees. Social welfare, 10,019 crore rupees. Agriculture, 10,992 crore rupees. Rural development, 75,133 crore rupees. Urban development, 18,907 crore rupees. And the development of the Northeast, 1,894 crore rupees. The cruelest cuts were in allocations for the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, OBC and minorities. Here are a few examples. PM Anisuchit Jati Abhyuday Yojana, budget allocation was 2,040 crore. The actual expenditure is only 800 crore rupees. PM Young Achievers Scholarship for OBC, EBC and denotified tribes. Allocation was 1,836 crore rupees. Actual expenditure will be 1,381 crore rupees. Post-metric scholarship for scheduled castes, allocation was 6,360 crore rupees. Actual expenditure will be 5,500 crore rupees. Program for development of scheduled tribes, allocation was 4,300 crore rupees. Actual expenditure will be 3,630 crore rupees. There is nothing to cheer about the fact that the government has improved the fiscal deficit from the BE of 4.9% to the revised estimate of 4.8%. It was achieved at a huge cost to the economy. Those who did not believe us when we said that the economy is slowing down will, I hope, Good evening to all of you. Today is budget day. I have an opening statement.
For senior citizens, the government has introduced a measure that exempts them from tax deducted at source on their first 1 lakh of interest income. This is a welcome relief, up for the previous 50,000 exemption, and will provide elderly citizens with greater disposable income. This change reflects the government's commitment to supporting senior citizens who often rely on interest income as a primary source of livelihood, particularly in retirement.
आज भारत की विकास यात्रा का एक महत्वपूर्ण पड़ाव है। ये 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की आकांक्षाओं का बजट है। ये हर भारतीय के सपनों को पूरा करने वाला बजट है। हमने कई सेक्टर्स युवाओं के लिए खोल दिए। सामान्य नागरिक विकसित भारत के मिशन को ड्राइव करने वाला है। ये बजट एक फोर्स मल्टीप्लायर है। ये बजट सेविंग्स को बढ़ाएगा, इन्वेस्टमेंट को बढ़ाएगा, कंजम्पशन को बढ़ाएगा और ग्रोथ को भी तेजी से बढ़ाएगा। मैं वित्त मंत्री निर्मला सीतारमण जी और उनकी पूरी टीम को इस जनता जनार्दन का बजट, पीपल्स का बजट, इसके लिए बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। साथियों, आमतौर पर बजट का फोकस इस बात पर रहता है कि सरकार का खजाना कैसे भरेगा, लेकिन ये बजट उससे बिल्कुल उल्टा है। लेकिन ये बजट देश के नागरिकों की जेब कैसे भरेगी, देश के नागरिकों की बचत कैसे बढ़ेगी और देश के नागरिक विकास के भागीदार कैसे बनेंगे, ये बजट इसकी एक बहुत मजबूत नींव रखता है। साथियों, इस बजट में रिफॉर्म की दिशा में महत्वपूर्ण कदम उठाए गए हैं। न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी में प्राइवेट सेक्टर को बढ़ावा देने का निर्णय बहुत ही ऐतिहासिक है। ये आने वाले समय में सिविल न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी का बड़ा योगदान देश के विकास में सुनिश्चित करेगा। बजट में रोजगार के सभी क्षेत्रों को हर प्रकार से प्राथमिकता दी गई है। लेकिन मैं दो चीजों पर ध्यान आकर्षित करना चाहूंगा, उन रिफॉर्म्स की मैं चर्चा करना चाहूंगा जो आने वाले समय में बहुत बड़ा परिवर्तन लाने वाले हैं। एक, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर स्टेटस देने के कारण भारत में बड़े शिप्स के निर्माण को बढ़ावा मिलेगा, आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान को गति मिलेगी। और हम सब जानते हैं कि शिप बिल्डिंग ये सर्वाधिक रोजगार देने वाला क्षेत्र है। उसी प्रकार से देश में टूरिज्म के लिए बहुत संभावना है। महत्वपूर्ण 50 टूरिस्ट डेस्टिनेशन, वहां पर जो होटल्स बनाएंगे, उस होटल को पहली बार इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के दायरे में लाकर टूरिज्म पर बहुत बल दिया है। इससे हॉस्पिटैलिटी सेक्टर को, जो रोजगार का बहुत बड़ा क्षेत्र है, और टूरिज्म जो रोजगार का सबसे बड़ा क्षेत्र है, एक प्रकार से चारों तरफ रोजगार के अवसर पैदा करने वाला एक क्षेत्र को ऊर्जा देने वाला काम करेगा। आज देश विकास भी विरासत भी इस मंत्र को लेकर चल रहा है। इस बजट में भी इसके लिए भी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण और ठोस कदम उठाए गए। 1 करोड़ पांडुलिपियों के लिए संरक्षण के लिए, मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट के लिए ज्ञान भारतम मिशन लॉन्च किया गया है। साथ ही भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा से प्रेरित एक नेशनल डिजिटल रिपोजिटरी आज भारत की विकास यात्रा का एक महत्वपूर्ण पड़ाव है।
One of the more controversial aspects of the budget is the exemption on two self-occupied properties. This policy appears to favor the wealthy, as it is already common for rich to claim exemptions on farmhouses. The logic behind this exemption is somewhat unclear, leading to questions about its necessity. It seems to disproportionately benefit those who can afford multiple properties, raising concerns about the fairness of such a policy. Critics argue that this could be seen as an unnecessary giveaway to the rich at a time when the government is attempting to balance its budget.
सेशन के लिए है सर ये मैडम के अभी इंटरव्यू में हो गया।
भवन परिसर में और उनके साथ में मौजूद है गाड़ी यहाँ पर बजट
And that's a wrap on this big story. For more news and updates, keep watching CVR English.